Hey guys, so first up, apologies for the slightly weird position for this. New background video as well. Used to the old ones in my kitchen at my mum's house. I just moved out to become a big boy and got my own place. So at the moment, it's fairly sparse. So all I have is a bed and a beanbag. So I'm actually kneeling on the floor while doing this, and the lighting's not too bad here. So apologies, it's not the most professional setup, but wanted to answer some questions. So. These were posted up in the Q&A thread yesterday evening, and I'm going to answer them now. In actual fact, there are quite a few. I think we had about 15 in total, so I'll try and rattle off half now, and then I'll do half later. Otherwise, it's going to be one massive video. So, first question we had, Terry Peach asked, do you know any good recipes using Quark? And actually, Lucy Glover came with a good one, which I like. Just nice and simple. So sweetener mixed in and topped with stewed apple and peanut butter, which is pretty good. One of my favourites is a protein cheesecake recipe that's on bodybuilding.com website. If you go into the nutrition section of the forums, it's at the top there. It's really good. I also like just mixing mine with some frozen berries, so raspberries work really well, as do blueberries, mixed frozen berries, kind of anything really. And if you add some casein protein, it goes really, really, really thick. Another favourite combo I like is cooking up some oats, letting them cool for a bit, then putting the quark on, putting some sugar-free syrup in, some PB2, and again some berries, and I think that works really well. It's a good thing with quark because it's pretty high protein, very low carb, and virtually zero fat, so you can add in like biscuits and cookies and stuff if you want something higher calorie, or you can keep it pretty tasty and low calorie with just sweetener and berries and stuff like that. So that's the first question done. Tori Emma Jeffrey asked, best thing to eat in the week before running a marathon? Couple of bits here. One, it depends on what you've been doing so far, so you never want to introduce any new foods. A big mistake that a lot of endurance athletes make is thinking, oh, I need to eat loads and loads of pasta and fruit and energy gels and sports drinks, whatever. They've never had them before, their bodies aren't used to it, and so you feel pretty crap, really. Get digestive issues, bloating, discomfort, all of that. So it's just not worth doing that. So what I'd say is in the weeks leading up to it, monitor what you perform best on. So try a few bits and pieces on a long training run and see what works, and then just have kind of a bit more of that in the week leading up to it. I generally think keep it simple, just carb load a bit, but don't go nuts. If you're eating 4 pounds of pasta and like 3 malt loaves because you think you need the carbs beforehand, probably going to gain about 5-6 kilos in food and water weight before you run, and that's not going to help your performance. So whatever you do on the day, make sure you practice it beforehand and just generally get some more carbs in you. From Owen, what does Mike Samuels do to de-stress? Are you trying to say I'm stressed? Generally, what do you de-stress? I like walking and I like classical music. Honestly, I do sound like a bit of an old man, but it's kind of that simple. So I'll go out for a walk, I'll stick a podcast on, or listen to some classical. So podcast-wise, I like fitness ones, but sometimes it's just nice not to think about fitness. So I'll listen to the Simon Mayer, Mark Kermode film review, might listen to some business stuff, Tim Ferriss's podcast, all good. Like just going and getting coffee with my girlfriend or sitting in the pub, just phone off. I'll go somewhere often that doesn't have any phone signal out in the sticks and just sit there and chill out for a bit. Quite like reading fiction. Talked a bit about that before. And also I like writing. Writing fitness stuff though, but I find if I put Facebook off, put email off and all of that, I actually relax just from writing about fitness. So yeah, just kind of standard stuff really, but that's what I enjoy. And travelling as well. I love travelling and getting on breaks, just mini breaks around Europe. Kerry Bratton, carb cycling, any benefits? I used to say yes, because I used to buy into the whole leptin, T3, boosting your metabolism stuff from a refeed day or from higher carb days. Now, not so much. I think possibly there's a bit of evidence saying maybe in the end stage of a diet they can help. Anecdotally, I've seen it a bit with clients, but not all of them. It depends on your personal tolerance to carbs as well. There's undoubtedly some people who perform better when they've got carbs in them, and so on rest days might we can increase fat loss with a lower carb day, but give them more on the training day so they get better performance, maintain muscle mass better. But at the same time, I think actually the benefits are mainly psychological. So if you have that refeed day to look forward to, or refeed days, if you're doing kind of 2 or 3 a week, then that can be a huge kind of thing to keep you driving forward. And on those days where you think, oh, I just can't be arsed with this diet anymore, it can help with that. So psychologically, I like personally 2 moderate high carb days per week, and then that means I can get on all right with the 5 lower each week. Provided calories and total carb intake are the same over the course of a week, then it doesn't really matter physiologically, but psychologically, see what works best for you. Next question. I think we'll call it a day here for this video, but Sybil asked, at what point do I change numbers? I get staying consistent, but what point is it like, okay, nothing is happening, change, 2 weeks, 2 months? I hope you like the emphasis I put on that there. I thought it was quite a well-worded question, so I wanted to give it the attention it deserved. I would say, it's weird, I've not sort of taken in the questions that much before recording this video, but I was writing a blog just before doing this on when's the best time to take a diet break, and it kind of coincides with this. So in terms of weight changing, sorry I just scratched my leg there. In terms of weight changing, I wouldn't rely on that too much unless you're kind of obese or very overweight. I would look at measurements and progress pictures as much as scale weight as well. If they're all changing, if you're getting compliments, if clothes are fitting better, if you're feeling better, if you think you look slimmer, don't change anything. In terms of when to change though, it kind of depends on how you're progressing and where you're at. I generally like just cutting calories a bit, so by like 50 to 100 a week. So if you have a check and you think, oh, nothing's changed at all, what am I going to do? I would say cut calories, by about 50 to 100. So kind of 5 to 10 grams of carbs, maybe 15 carbs, and sort of even like 2 to 5 grams of fat, depending on when your goal is, how lean you are at the moment, how lean you want to get, what your training's like. So I'm being really annoying and I'm giving one of those it depends on this many factors answers, but that really is the case. Or you can increase activity a bit. My general rule though is that people tend to cut too much too soon and try and throw everything at it at once, so I just do those small cuts. Give yourself longer than you need to diet and actually do it slightly more steadily so that it's you've got longer to run with it, it's more sustainable and it's more enjoyable. So we're on the 8-minute mark there. I've done 5 questions and I'll get to the rest a little later. Cheers guys, I'll post this one up now and catch you all again soon.